Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I've been motivated. These are the things that make me want to do a broadcast. I know when I was doing my broadcast in the U.S., I think some of my broadcasts were pretty good, and after I looked at them, I thought I did a pretty good performance. And the thing is, what happens is when I get motivated, I think that's what I need to give a good show. And that when I get motivated, then that's enough for me to do a good YouTube show. Well, I've been motivated today. In fact, this is my third video. I'm going to submit all three of these videos for publication, and they'll probably come one after the other. But I have been extremely motivated this morning because what happened was I get a notice from YouTube that they were taking one of my videos off the air or something. All I know is something about they said it was hate. I was giving a hate speech, and that something about a strike. I don't know anything about their strategies or all that stuff. I just get in front of my computer, go to YouTube, go to my station, and I just start talking to whoever wants to listen to me. I'm like I said in the previous video, which I did today. In fact, I've done. This is my third video today, and I'm going to publish all three of them today. So I don't know how they're going to come up on the internet, but I'm going to publish three videos today. And this is all in my reaction to what YouTube, the notice I got from YouTube about my giving says about hate speech. And the thing is, I'm still riled up about these people uh, saying that I'm talking hate. I'm not talking hate. I'm talking basically. I try to talk facts. Like I get most of my information from YouTube. I go to a YouTube station and I just see what they and the things that I get on YouTube. I'm like, wow. And what I said about South Africa, I said, wait a minute. You mean I'm one because I talk about the inequalities in South Africa, about the white minority who still rule in South Africa, and about the majority of people of the Africans are still living poor. And my question was, why did these black youth South African burn Ethiopian businesses and Nigerian business about 2 or 3 years ago? And now they got this thing about South African first. This is about keeping the African community from being a part of South Africa. This is to keep the black people out of South Africa. It's the same thing that white people have been doing for these periods of our enslavement. When I look at YouTube and see the things that white Europeans have done to the world, it's bad, man. It's really bad. I mean, I was looking at a documentary about Kenya just within the last 48 hours, and I got sick. I got sick that they talked about what the British did to Kenyans when they took over Kenya. I mean, it was just a matter of fact thing. Anyone can go to this documentary. Just go for the documentary. I forget the name of it. It just came up when I was on the YouTube, and I looked at this documentary. It says something about how Britain took over Kenya. Man, it was blood. I'm not saying this. You do your own research. According to that documentary, these are the things that I heard from that documentary. That when the British came into Kenya, what they would do, they would kill 3,000 people. Now they would keep it, and I did it in my other broadcast. They kept a record of it. They reported it to the kings in England. They said we have killed 300 Africans today, and we have taken 40,000 towns. This was on a regular basis when the British took over Kenya. When the British took over Kenya, they would kill the citizens of Kenya, and they would take their land and they would take the livestock. And that's what we would call colonialism. Now, I was looking at this documentary and I was getting sick. I was like, wow, look what they did. Look what they did to these black people. Look what they did. But then, if you continue to do research on YouTube and see what the white Western European did to Africa, it will make you cry. I mean, and so I'll make a video and say that the African people are enslaved in South Africa and the white people are in control. I get banned. Well, it makes no difference to me. You see, I am just a messenger. What destiny? The destiny of Africa, it looks bad. You're getting ready to get kicked out of Africa. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a human being. I'm only looking at the facts of history and the reactions of man. When the young people of Africa begin to study the history and to see how our forefathers were treated by the white Europeans. When the white Europeans came into Africa, the Africans welcomed them as friends. And then later on, the Europeans came and just killed the leaders, killed women and children, took the land, took the livestock, and the white Western European did a very terrible thing to the African people. Well, I guess they were, my goodness, when you think about the history of Europe, and then Europe producing a man by the name of Adolf Hitler, and the things that these people did to people, I mean, this is something like bestiality. I mean, my goodness, the things that the white Western European did to black people, to African people, it will make you cry. Tears will come to your eyes if you read the things that happened to Africans in their own land. So, well, I don't know. See, I'm just a human being, just like everyone else. Why God brought this wrath on Africa, I do not know. I think it must have something to do with the behavior of Africans, but I don't know. But then those Europeans that came and did the things that they did to these African people, if you study the history of it, and it's very easy to study the history. You can get out all the history right here on YouTube. There are many documentaries that talk about when the European came into Africa, took the land, took the livestock, killed the men, took the women. That's how it happened. It. Now, okay, maybe of course, God has everything to do with everything. Like I say over and over, I don't know what African people had done for God to bring the wrath on us. But the wrath was brought on us, and it was terrible. But now we're in a new age. It's like anything. It's like anything that exists in the universe. You know, what happens is you plant a seed in fertile soil, and then a tree grows in time. You plant a seed in fertile soil, and then in turn, the tree grows. And sometimes it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But at some time in the existence of life, and I think that's a law. It may not be a law of the universe. It may not be a law of the universes, but I think it's the law of earth. We come into this world and we develop, and then we die. That seems to be a universal reality within our earth. Maybe perhaps way out in infinite universes, there are all type of different type of things how things that exist. But if you study history, if you study, if you just study, you find that in our universe, that there's a process. That process is being born, developing, and then dying. The tree dies. The mighty lion dies. The gorilla dies. It's given, the mighty lion roams the jungle. And it's the most ferocious animal that roams the jungle. And it kills and it eats over a period of time. It lives and it eats. And then eventually time speaks. And the mighty strong lion, he dies. Those are the laws of our nature as we exist in this universe. Look, I'm a human being, but I'm just a messenger. Why am I a messenger? Because I study history and I study men. And when I study history and when I study men, I see white people, your day is over. No matter what you do, you cannot stop time because all of us are part of time. Your ruling days are over. And there are no more tricks that you can perform on the black people. There are no more tricks. You have no more. But it has nothing to do with an individual. It has nothing to do with a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X. It has nothing to do with one human being. It has something to do with what nature is. Things begin, they develop, and they end. Like white people, you've ruled the world for hundreds of years. The earth, you've ruled the world. You've done some pretty good things. Michelangelo, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, Da Vinci, many great, not Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ was a black man. But all these other great Europeans, great Einstein, great Europeans, the culture that you have had, you presented great things, beautiful things to humanity. But your time is up. See, the thing is, what makes me say the time is up for white people? Because what is happening at the very present moment is that the world is ruled by white people in general. I mean, easily they're losing that ground right now. But what has happened is, look at what is happening. You perpetrate immorality. You don't even, you disregard history. And you think that this whole race thing, man, that's how God made it. But some kind of way we get involved. Did the human race get involved with the color of a man's skin and all that? And then we started doing these things to people because they had these characteristics. I don't know how that developed, but it did. But what happened is you took advantage of this thing about color and race and all that. And you punish people for existing. Your time is up. It's not making your time up. It's that nature, the universe, the laws of existence says your time is up. The white European did great things, but look at what's happening in the world now. You move to the level of immorality, and what you do is you try to force it on the rest of mankind. And that's like the deciding factor that determines your destiny. Yes, it has nothing to do with me. No, I'm just a messenger. It has nothing to do with me or any human being. It has something to do with the laws of the universe, the laws of this universe which we all exist in. If we do these things and we do those things, is to try to hold on to something that is no longer yours. Power is dwindling. So you think that you can stand in the background and manipulate black people, whether it be in America or whether it be in South Africa. But my brother, your time's up. God has given you your chance. And in many instances, you, white people, white people, you've done beautiful things, but your time is up. Your time is up now because what you have done, you have grasped onto immorality and you have ignored the teachings of your fathers. Your time is up. It has nothing to do with me. Now, it's time for those white people in South Africa to just leave, get off the continent. Just get off the continent. Think of the things that what your ancestors did to those people in South Africa. Think of the things that happened to those people, those black people, after you beat them down. And for a generation, I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I know what segregation is. After you beat them down, after you beat those black people down in South Africa, then you started making laws to make them feel less than human beings. You said that they could not do this because of their color. I know that. I grew up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the most racist state in the country. Oh, it's different now. But I grew up in racism. And I know how racism works. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the laws of nature. I am totally disturbed. Yes, I am disturbed. For me to get a notice to say that I'm preaching hate, teaching hate. And that's why your time is up. Lies, deceit, manipulation is over. So I say to the white people in South Africa, get out of South Africa. Give them these people their lands back. There's a place for you. Are you going to sit there and instigate? No, you're not going to sit there and instigate forever. It's time to get out. Get out of South Africa and let those people have their lands. Your time is up. God is my master. I guarantee. God is my master. God is my master. Your time is up. It has nothing to do with me. When we study history, history always says beginning, development, and decay. Everything seems to, there are certain laws. You know, okay, my interest is E equal MC squared. That's a law of nature. It's a law of nature. It's nothing that the man Albert Einstein designed. It's something that exists in nature, and this man only detected it and showed mankind this particular law of nature. There are other laws of nature. Well, one thing, you made a mistake, my white European, Western European brothers. Somewhere down, I know where it started. It started in Portugal. I think about the 1400s when the white Portuguese began to look at color, and that began to be the determination of the worth of a man. It began in Europe, and all kind of other stuff that started in Europe. White supremacy, white supremacy. That white people are superior to all the other races. Let's look at it. Only African people can produce white children. You know, the albino child. A black woman, an African woman, and an African man can produce a white child. You saw the point. You agree that the civilization, human beings began in Africa. We're all brothers. We're all cousins. But somewhere in history, somewhere down the line, and it started in Portugal, in the Western Europe, a Portuguese priest or whatever, he wrote a book and said, and that book declared people with black skins were worthy of being enslaved. And then you had your other, I guess it's Darwin or all these other people talking about uh, the superior race. And that race was based on the color of a man's skin, the color of his eyes made him superior to others. That philosophy came out of you. Then look what Hitler did to it. The philosophy came out. He killed white people, millions of them. Look, look at the things that white people have done in the latter part of our history. White people came from black people. They albino child. And if you just go into history, we all are brothers. It's only one race. But it was one political extremist in Portugal in the 1400s. That's when that race thing began. The color of a man's skin determined his worth. And then, of course, for hundreds of years, the world was governed by that particular ideology. And that's where we are today. So I have I have no personal gripes against white people. They're human beings like myself. God created them. I don't hate white people. I'm totally disturbed with what this insinuation that YouTube made on me. If you follow me all the way back when I started my YouTube station, I have always been talking about my compassion for humanity. Here I am, just a human being. I said, what can I do with my time? The intellect that God gave me. Why don't I work on a formula to save humanity? Yeah. According to the thing that according to the notice that I got from YouTube, I'm teaching hate. That's where the world is at today. People, you're in trouble. Give it up. Give it up. Walk away. Walk away. Don't try to destroy the world. You won't be able to do that. You will not be able to destroy the world because your term is up. You're just going to have to fall in line like the rest of humanity. Humanity. You're just going to have to fall in line. You won't be able to destroy humanity. What, with the nuclear bomb? No. Because just as God gave Einstein the theory of relativity, God has given me the sign of the preservation of humanity. You can't destroy humanity. No matter what you do, you're just a man. You're just a human being, like myself. You cannot destroy humanity. You can only act the fool and think and try to make other people act the fool. So I'll publish this video. I love humanity. Every man, what every means, it means every man. Okay, if you don't understand what that means, whether you black, whether you white, whether you Chinese, whether you Korean, whether you Indian, whether you Pakistani, whether you Nigerian, whether you Ethiopian, what every man, if you can understand me, every man is my brother. Every man, every man, every man is my brother until he proves otherwise. It makes no difference what color you are. It makes no difference what language you speak. It makes no difference what country you're from. Every man is my friend until he proves otherwise. I'm preaching hate. I'm preaching hate. Yes, the South Africans are being duped. The whites are still in control. You should make sure that you get these white people out of your country. They don't want, all they want to do is instigate. Yes. Okay. Will I be banned for saying that? Well, what are you doing? Well, what are the white people doing in South Africa? What are they doing? Have they given those African people their lands back? They praised Mandela. They put him. They put him in prison for 25 years, and they still own the lands. They took the lands. They killed the people. They insulted the people after they took the lands. Get out of South Africa, my white brother. Just leave the land. I know when I talked about this in one of my video. Brazil, in Brazil, the country of Brazil, a former Portuguese colony, they had an immigration policy that they would not accept anybody but white people. They had an immigration policy that they would in their history, that they say we only want white people to come to Brazil. Why? You created this world like this. You made this world so conscious of the color of a man's skin, and we all come from the same source. We're all cousins. But you created this philosophy. And look at what it did. Look at what Hitler did when he ran away with that philosophy. Look at what Leopold did in the Congo when he killed 10 million African souls. He cut off the hands of women and children, African children, women and African children, when the Belgians ruled the Congo. And not to add kerosene to the fire, the white Belgians, when Lumumba, the first African president of the Congo, the white Belgians cut him up. I've said it over and over. They cut him up, threw him into a barrel of acid, and all that was left of him was his tooth. And I've said it many times. Look at what you're doing, my white European brother. Look at what you did. You created Hitler. You created segregation in African, in American. Look at what you did to my African American brothers and sisters. What, 50, 60 years ago, hanging them in trees, taking a child, taking a child, Emmett Till, taking a child, a black African American child, tying his feet down and dragging him around in the street A child. Look at the things that the crimes against humanity that you have committed. This is Musa Matt Beecham Jr. signing off in the universe, planet Earth. And here I'm signing out. The only way I can sign out, I'm still trying to sign out. I don't know what happens. Why can't I when I want to give a dramatic ending, like